Hi, Christian. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Mike. How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you for being a superstar and part of the Client Dispute Manager family. And so we wanted to start this interview by you sharing a simple quote or motivational tip with everyone.
Yeah. The one that I've lived by for quite a while is you are your greatest investment and persistence breaks the resistance.
Well said. Well said. That's perfect. Yeah, you want to invest in yourself.
Correct.
Make sure that it would show, right? When you invest in yourself, it would show on how you treat people and how you how the job that you do with your customers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The more you're continuously able to invest in yourself and pour into yourself, the better it'll be for your company, the better it'll be overall long term. And as well as like people always, when they come to a standstill, they tend to just stagnate or they don't know how to approach it. But I believe if you still, persist and just keep at it, then the better results you'll get.
I agree. I agree. That's good. And so what is the name of your company and where are you based out of?
So the name of my company is Smooth Credit. Originally based from Texas, where I'm from. I did move around quite a bit. The beautiful part about an online business is you can operate from anywhere, and I believe that Texas and just about any other state here, credit repair itself is not taught as much, and as well as it's not approached or it's not just being spoken about as much today.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, definitely. So that's why it's important to be able to educate people about credit repair. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Smooth Credit from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so what made you start your own credit repair business?
Originally, it's just as you said, people aren't being educated out here, and nobody taught me about credit in my family. And I know there are a ton of other credit repair agencies out there that are in the same exact area where they found themselves where they didn't know something about credit and there wasn't anybody to guide them or teach them or mentor them about credit. And I've had plenty of clients come to me and maybe we don't do business, but at least I'm able to walk away from that meeting knowing that I provided a ton of value and they stepped away knowing more about the whole credit repair process and how they're able to better themselves and better their life to get to where they want to be. Because I've met a lot of people that it's credit in itself is very underutilized, and I always tell clients too, it's a double-edged sword, right? You can either fall on the sword or you can use it for your advantage and you can go approach banks, you can get a house, you can get a car, you can start a business, you can go travel for free. There's so much that you can do with credit that very many people don't know how to use, or they've had a very negative experience with it, so they kind of steer away from credit too.
That's good. That's good that, you at least be transparent about what's really going on. And
Hmm.
that's right. The opportunities that they can get once they, start focusing on their credit
Hmm.
instead of, steering away from it. So that's good. That's a good answer. And what are some of the struggles you've had starting your credit repair business?
You hit the nail on the head, Mike. So when it comes to the struggles, I feel as if many people don't know what they're getting themselves into, and they sort of see it as such like a oh, it's a quick and easy, a couple months, couple letters here and there, and we're good. Like no, like this is something that you really have to develop and you have to be transparent about, right? Because I feel like people really appreciate transparency because there's a lot of people in this field that tend to take advantage of clients too. I've seen that in the past, or they don't have their systems dialed in either. And what I mean by that is being able to follow up not only with the client, but as well as the credit bureaus and making sure there's a clear communication between the two parties. Because if one party doesn't communicate with each other, it messes up the entire process. So that's another thing that a lot of people may struggle with as far as your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, how to educate the client, how to onboard the client, how to walk them through the process. Make sure that we're all on the same page throughout the process. Because if somebody feels as if they're not being communicated with, or they don't not feeling taken care of, or they didn't expect this kind of a thing or this charge, or it popped back up on their credit, or something along those lines, right? Or just letting them know, like, hey, like, some of these things may stick, right? But it doesn't mean I'm not going to challenge everything. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to make sure I know what I'm doing, and just being very transparent with them, right? It's a lot of those struggles I see a lot of people come up with, and making sure that you have a good resource, in case something happens. Like, what happens if this letter happens? What happens if, a stall letter happens, or a frivolous letter happens? What happens if they verify it? What happens if they verify this, right? Just being able to have a huge toolkit that you can use at your disposal is very, very advantageous too. So some of those struggles are.
Exactly. No, that's right. SOP is really, really important because you don't want to, like what you said, you want to, you know, miss something, some of the steps, and you don't communicate with someone, and that's going to be really bad for the business. So
hmm
process is really, so I agree with that. So how's business going right now?
Business has been slow. I'm not going to lie, business, it's one of those things that it trickles and it's up and down, but I'm prepared for it. Right. And one of the things that I didn't share earlier is I like to hide it sometimes, but I use it to my advantage as I also work at a bank too. So the beautiful part is that whenever people come and approach me and they talk about their credit, not only can I speak from personal experience, but I can also speak from professional experience too. So that's what differentiates me a lot from people, is even if I'm going in those lull periods, right, I'm able to take a look at the market. I'm able to take a look at how money moves, how accounts are opening, how credit applications are taken, basically see the other side of the screen. So I worked for two of the big five banks in America. So I'm able to really speak on that personal experience that I've been able to see. And as well as if they're looking at those products, I can let them know, hey, you got to do X, Y, and Z to get yourself there. You can't just hop up there, right? You can't just go into those accounts. These are the steps we need to take in order for we to get you there. Not saying it's not possible. I'm just trying to tell you that in order for you to get to the point where you want to be, there are going to be some certain steps we're going to have to take to get you there. So not only that, professional experience has really, really helped during these lull periods for sure. But when it comes to those two, I like to also reach out to past clients, right? You never know what could they be, going through at the moment, or if they know anybody, or maybe clients that haven't worked with me, just following up with them, touching base with them. I really don't like to use the word follow up. I really just like to, catch up with them, see how they've been, and maybe offer something, that they may need, right? Do they need some expertise in a car, right? I've helped a client. She had no idea how to buy a car, and I was able to help her buy a car because I worked in car sales too. So a lot of my professional experience I've been able to utilize and help clients throughout the process too. And this is someone that hasn't even worked with me, but I was able to guide her through that process because she didn't have anybody to help her. And I love being able to give that value back to clients, and they be able to walk away and be like, I got a ton of value from this guy. If I want to work with somebody, I want to work with him. If I have a credit issue, I want to be the first person they think of, right? I want to be the first person they text, first person they call. It gets me excited because I could talk about credit for days. Some of my friends would be like, you want to shut up about credit? But it's just because I've used it so much and I know how much it excites me.
That's right. Yeah, and if you're really doing something that you love, and you can't really avoid, like, talking about it. So that's
hmm
perfectly normal. And it's the small things that makes a big impact. So I agree with what you said, just checking in with them from time to time, see how they're doing. And who knows, right? They might be needing help that time, and it's
Yep.
just good timing that you were able to reach out to them. So
hmm
it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's good. So what, since we're talking about, experiences, customers' experiences, what would you say would be the best part of running a credit repair business?
The best part is seeing my clients develop, right? Coming in and they don't know nothing about nothing and they're just so green to grass. And they're like, I saw this video on TikTok, or I saw this video on Instagram. Is this true? And I have to be like, yes, but there are some different parts to it, or yes, but just being able to see them come in and actually grasp, like get a really good grasp on credit. And not only that, be able to pass it down to their kids. be able to pass it down so that they're able to create generational wealth. They're able to avoid these pitfalls that they put themselves in and be able to set themselves up for a great future. Not only financially, but just like overall, like they're able to move around life more confident, right? Because there's a lot of people in this life that just like they don't understand credit. They never were taught about credit, and they never want to talk about it. They never want to utilize it to its full capacity. So it's very nice seeing my clients come in and always step in a way that I've helped, or maybe someone else has helped, and they're coming to me still too for education and just being at that level where they're comfortable going whichever way they want to go.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's true where what they say, knowledge is power. So, whether it's you educating your customers, getting them enlightened with what's going on with credit repair, or like what you said, you want to um have your, generational wealth. So
Hmm.
yeah, knowledge is power. So it's not something that you want to take lightly, right?
Yeah, I will say that knowledge is power, but if you never use it, right, you're never going to use it. So I've
True.
met people that like they know everything. They've read tons of books, but they've never done it themselves. So I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Right. That's right. So let's see. What would you say is one of the biggest struggles when it comes to consumers and their personal credit?
Their biggest struggles, I will say, is lifestyle inflation. You're like, what does this have to do with credit? I'm like, it has a ton to do with credit. I know plenty of people that are just living out of their means, and they're doing it in a way that's putting themselves deeper in a hole. I wish that I could shake them and be like, stop spending your credit, stop doing this, go get a job, go live with your parents, sell your car, do that. Lifestyle inflation is massively huge, especially here in the States. You go anywhere across, to the Philippines, to Japan, to across the border, they don't have those issues because they're very happy where they're at in their lifestyle. But here in America, we have what's called a flex culture. Everybody wants to flex on each other. Everybody wants, oh, I got the new car, or I'm wearing the nicest clothes, or whatever. You see it a lot in Florida and Miami, but it's a very competitive scene. So what ends up happening is they start putting themselves deeper and deeper in a debt hole that they can't keep up with. And sometimes they got it like that. If they got it like that, then hey, who am I to tell them how to spend their money, right? But at the same time, if you want to develop good money habits, you're gonna have to cut back on your lifestyle inflation. And I'm guilty of this too, right? When you're stepping into money or you start to go into your career, like, oh, I deserve to treat myself, blah blah blah. Like, you have to really take a step back and be like, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Things of that nature.
Good. That's a good answer, and that's true. You wanna be able to at least give them the truth, right? Let them know what's really going on. And yeah, people tend to
Yeah.
stay out of their financial lane, which is something that backfires, right? It's
Sometimes
a
they don't want to
double
hear it.
edge.
They don't want to hear it sometimes,
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. That's true. Good, good. That was a good answer. And so how has Client Dispute Manager software helped with your business?
So CDM software is great because it helps automate a lot of things that I was already doing. So before I approached Mark in his meeting, I was doing everything by hand, manually. And CDM software is different because I've tried all these other softwares out there too. But what I really like about CDM is that it's very automated, it's simple to use, and it's not all clunky and whatnot. And it enables me to really touch base with clients, and it gives me a professional look. If it gives me a professional look, I'm able to send out letters easier, give them updates, send out contracts, put a team member on my team. When I had a team member, things of that nature has really, really been helpful to help scale my business too. And I really, really appreciate the sense of community, right? Because everybody in the credit field are extremely competitive. And people at the bottom are competitive. People at the top are collaborating. So if we can all collaborate and help each other out, there's enough to eat for everybody on the table. I promise you that. There are a ton of communities out there that are untapped. There are a ton of like just places out there that many people haven't even entered or thought about. So it definitely, it's nice whenever you're able to touch base, especially and bounce ideas off of each other or share experiences with each other. that really, really helps because it helps validate a lot of the things that I've already been doing or some of the things I've been brainstorming. I'm like, oh, someone else has already done this. Okay, great. Someone else has already ran into this problem that I have. Even better. What have they gotten? What are the results they've gotten? So that's what I really appreciate about CDM.
That's good, and I'm really happy to hear that from you. And that's the purpose of the software, being for you to be able to scale your business, right? Not just start and run your business. You want to also be able to scale your business. And yeah, that's true about collaborating with other people. That's why we try our best to make it a community
Hmm.
for everyone to be able to share what they know, right? Weakness, strength. So that's good. That's good. We appreciate your business with us, Christian. So yeah, you're part of the family. So we want to make sure we'll always take care of you whenever we can. Okay. So all right. Do you have any recommendation for anyone who's trying to start their own credit repair business?
My recommendations are to do your own research. Do your due diligence into this field, right? It's not a get rich quick scheme. The longer you're in the game, the better you perform. So that being said, you have to understand when you're dealing with clients too, how to talk to clients, how to close, how to build rapport with them. If you don't have a sales background, I definitely would recommend knowing a little bit about sales before you even approach it too, because there's so many different aspects of running a credit repair agency. I say credit repair, but I like credit restoration. I was in a meeting in CDM software, and I much better prefer restore because we're restoring people's credit back to where it used to be. People don't just wake up with like a 600 or 400 credit score. They did something, so we got to restore it. So I believe really in restore. So when it comes to building out and recommending what you could be doing, definitely do your research, right? Figure out what you're good at. There's certain strengths, like if you're good at fulfilling, if you're good at selling, if you're good at marketing, if you're good at everything. But when you're first starting, it's a one man team, so you have to know everything. You got to be a jack of all trades. You got to figure it out. You got to literally figure it out. You have to make sure you're following up with leads. If you don't got enough business coming in, where could you be looking? You got to put your name out there. You got to get business cards put together. You have to put yourself in areas and you have to be the person of influence in your community. So even as if it's just a small little town or if it's this massively huge town or city that has like millions of population, you still have to be able to put yourself out there. And I get it because sometimes I don't want to be an extrovert, right? Sometimes I don't want to talk to people. I'm an introvert too. So it's like whenever you have to go and put yourself out there, for a lot of people, that's nerve wracking, right? I don't want to have to do that. Like, no, but if you want your business to survive that first year, it's your baby, man. You gotta really take into account and really treat it well and make sure that it's thriving. Because the minute you stop marketing, the minute you stop talking to leads, the minute you stop, pursuing to grow your business, is the minute your business is starting to die. It's as easy as that.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So you really need to make sure that you continue, getting your business out there, continue to market your business. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's exactly true. Once you stop, getting leads or getting customers, then that's gonna be it.
You're done. Yeah.
You know,
And it,
marketing
and it
is
could
the
be
life.
as yeah, it could be as quick and easy as just having a conversation. You don't really gotta like pitch them right then and there. People appreciate that. Just like giving them free game, they appreciate that too. They'll be like, you know what, that guy Mike, he really helped me out.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through our hot seat questions. So first hot seat question is, what is a good way for consumers to remove inaccurate information?
Inaccurate information. Go to annualcreditreport.com, pull your credit report for free, and then have them just send in a quick letter, verify all this information for me. They have to respond within 30 business days. If you want to take it a step further, you could certify mail it just to make sure that they do get that mail too.
Well said. Well said. That's perfect. And so what is one great way to raise your credit score?
One great way if you're looking for a quick raise is bring down your utilization. It's 35% of your credit score. Stop spending credit, or if you need to move over that credit to a personal loan, or maybe add an authorized user, ask someone in your family that's great with credit, or a friend or a family, to add you as an AU if you're looking for a quick boost.
Good, good. Yeah, good answer. And do you have a favorite book that helped with your business?
Favorite book? I've read lots of different books. Let me see if I could. I think I could pull it up right. Oh, I'm very competitive naturally, so I had this. So it's How to Win at the Sport of Business by Mark Cuban. It's a very quick and
Good.
easy read. So that's a good read, and it talks about how he was able to progress through his career and go through selling software and things of that nature. But it helped me because it just it validated a lot of things I was going through, and a lot of the trials that he went through. I was like, oh yeah, I've definitely been through something like that before. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
hmm
And so what is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby. My favorite hobby is I love to play rugby. So I'm a sports person. So I enjoy playing sports, and it allows me to connect with people. And it's one of those sports that's played worldwide. And I actually am very involved with the local team here too.
Good, good. That's good. And so how can people reach out to you?
People can reach out to me on my socials on Instagram at smooth, just smooth, SMOOTH, or on X at smooth, or on threads at smooth. And as well as they can reach out to me as well on smoothcredit.com. I really appreciate you. And I really appreciate the interview. If anyone's looking just for some education and stuff like that, even when it comes to credit or just banking, um, reach out to me.
Yes, perfect, definitely. So yeah, and thank you as well, Christian, for allowing me to interview you today and for being a client dispute manager superstar.
Absolutely.